Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome to the 12th episode of the Zone's All Access, hosted by the Sports Center. The All Access is brought to you by our team of marketing partners and our premier partners: Whitaker Insurance, Stay and Play Doggy Daycare, Grooming and More, Hearthside Bank, Walker and Walker Construction, Value RX Pharmacy, Tazewell, Tennessee, and J&S Concrete Pumping. Our communications are as always, provided by First Century Bank. And thank you, Rex, for hosting us once again. Today I'm with Aaron Fox, president of the Harrogate Little League. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's talk about your background a little bit. Where were you born? Where are you from?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a lifelong resident of Claiborne County. I was born and raised down in Speedwell, Tennessee. I lived there most of my life. I was about 27, then I bought a place in Harrogate, and I've lived there ever since.
Okay, I'm sure you played some sports, knowing your background and all. What sports did you play?
Yeah, so pretty much growing up, I played every sport there was. Played a lot of baseball, a lot of basketball, a lot of football. Pretty much played sports from the time I was, 4 or 5 up all the way through high school. Sports was a big part of my life. Played everything.
Yeah, did you have a favorite sport?
Yeah, I guess probably my favorite sport growing up at first was probably basketball was my favorite, and then kind of in high school I got into really liking football a lot. But really, baseball, basketball, football, really all three have been a big part, and I've always enjoyed playing all three.
Do you notice a difference between sports back when you played and sports now?
Probably the biggest difference that I see nowadays is there's, kind of back when I was growing up, you could play baseball, you could play basketball, you could play football, and nothing really overlapped. You had time to play all three. Seems like nowadays with sports, there's so much going on. There's so many different things for the kids to play. And, nowadays you've got baseball that pretty much if you want to play baseball, you can play it year round. You can play baseball year round.
Yeah.
You can play football year round.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, personally, I think, especially younger kids, I think it's good if the kids kind of play a little bit of everything when they're young to see what they like, see what they're good at, kind of find their niche and what they want to do. Now, I'm not against, obviously playing one sport and sticking through, but I personally think it's good, especially for younger kids, to maybe play everything and see what they like the most and maybe what they're best at.
I think most recruiters nowadays, they're recruiting two things. They're wanting an all-around athlete.
Yeah.
And they recruit the parents, believe it or not.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
How did you come about being the president of the Harrogate Little League?
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good story in itself. Just the brief version, I guess. As we were talking earlier about COVID and how it, kind of hurt the sports in the area and the leagues. So COVID happened, and at the time, my son, I guess he would have been 4, getting ready to turn 5, when COVID kind of passed, and then it was time they were going to try to have the Little League again. There was we had a meeting at the Harrogate City Hall, and there's a thing on Facebook said, if anybody's interested, please come to Harrogate City Hall for the meeting. We're going to try to get the Little League going.
And then you got nominated.
Yeah. So myself, I think one other person showed up, and it was just kind of like, well, here it is. So like, well, if we're going to do something, I guess I'm going to have to take it and do it. So that's kind of that's the brief version of how it got started.
Yeah. So far, do you find it enjoyable?
Yeah, I do. I've been doing it. This will be my 5th year. I'll be starting my 5th year that I'm doing the league, and no, I enjoy it. I honestly, I do it for the kids, just to give the kids something fun to do and try to teach them a little bit of baseball, let them learn and have fun.
Are you excited about the 2025 season?
Oh, absolutely. It's probably set up to be our best year yet.
Wow.
We average around 150 to 160 kids that come out. This will be the first year that we've been able to offer a true 12U baseball team.
Yeah.
And that's just a credit for the years we've been doing this. We've had kids stay in the league and grow up and age out. So, yeah, no, we're excited to offer the 12U baseball team this year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Explain to me what the duties of a president are.
Sure. So, look, pretty much, I mean, I can't take any credit because it takes a village to run a league like this. I've got a ton of parents and a ton of volunteers and a great board of folks that really help and do a lot of things behind the scenes that folks don't see.
Yeah.
So I don't take credit for anything. I'm just a part of the team just to try to help. But, to answer your question, basically, we're affiliated with Little League International. So we're chartered, we pay a charter fee to be, kind of established with them.
Right.
And so they require the league to have a board, which involves a president, a vice president, treasurer, and secretary. So, my duties are pretty much to make sure everything gets done. I don't necessarily do everything, but I try to see that everything gets done. And that just goes to, again, having a lot of parents that really step up and help. We have a lot of good folks in Harrogate that step up, that like baseball, that are really involved, and like I said, I credit them.
Okay. Touchy subject here, but let's talk about some discipline.
Yeah.
If a player or a parent was to get out of hand, how do you handle that situation?
Yes. So,
and it happens. I mean, people get caught up in a moment.
Yeah.
It's not a knock on parents at all. It's just people get tied up in the sport and want their kid to do well. But just explain discipline.
Yeah. So something I've learned, since I've been doing this is, like you start out in wee ball and t-ball, and it's fun. The kids are learning, the kids are playing, they're having a great time, and then you kind of start getting into coach pitch, and it gets a little more competitive, and especially when you get into kid pitch, it gets very competitive.
Yes.
And anytime you're competing, there's emotions involved, and things happen and stuff. But pretty much the way we try to operate in Harrogate and the way we try to represent is, I mean, we try to put the kids first and realize that it's the kids out there playing. It's not us. We're there to help and teach the kids. We don't have any trouble with any of our kids, and we don't have any trouble with any of our parents. We've got a great group of folks over there that really, really strive to put the league first.
Yeah, that's good.
And they try to do the best, and we're all on the same page. If we do have a problem, then it's handled, pretty much internally. We talk about it, fix it, and move on. It's really been good. We really don't have any issues.
What aspect of the Little League organizations here in Harrogate do you like the best?
The aspects I like the best, probably what I enjoy the most about doing it is just the help from the community. Like I said, we've got a lot of parents that volunteer their time. I've told a lot of people this thing never works if you don't have the parents that come out that want to coach these teams. It takes like I said, it takes a village of people to pull this off.
It does.
And if you don't have, the parents that are willing to volunteer their time and come out and coach these teams and help teach these kids, probably the thing I enjoy the most is just the involvement, the community support. We've got a lot of businesses in Harrogate that have supported us for the last 5 years. Parents, volunteers. That's probably what I enjoy the most is just the excitement and wanting to do it for the kids.
What's the least enjoyable or the most taxing on you? What would that be?
Yeah, probably I guess what maybe most people don't realize is probably the amount of time that does go into
short
it.
Time.
Pretty much you start planning in January, and then you're starting registration the end of January, 1st of February. You're having your sign-ups. You're getting all that going, and then you're having to make your teams up, having to order the uniforms, get the uniforms. There's field maintenance. There's, getting your concession stuff going. There's a lot of time that's volunteered by a lot of folks. And, most people don't realize the time that it does take to do something like this. But again, we've got so many folks that really pull this off, and I thank them the most.
You better be.
Yeah, they
I mean,
there's
without them,
there's
life
a
would be a
lot.
lot tougher.
Well, and I'll say also, there's the businesses that put up the money
Oh
to
yeah,
pull this off. We've got so many sponsors for years that have really been very generous,
yeah.
to sponsor these teams and help the little league, and that makes it happen.
Do are you finding that this year the numbers are up a little bit on the teams?
Yeah, so I can think back to the first year after COVID when we started. I'm in 21. We got a late start, but I think we had 70 kids sign up for the
Mm-hmm.
whole year, and pretty much each year it's went up. We're at right now we're close to 160 kids this year for
That's
the
good.
spring season. So yes, the numbers are going up. Yeah,
All right. Is there any? I mean, the kids are learning the game. Do you make a point to stress to the coaches about the fundamentals of
yeah,
baseball or softball?
sure. So one of the biggest things that I realized, after talking to some other folks in the community, some of the middle school folks and the high school folks, when COVID hit,
Yeah.
it really took the little league away for a while.
Oh, it took every sport.
Yeah, and so
Got everybody behind.
yes. So you had a lot of kids that kind of sat out playing baseball for a year or two, and like any sport, as you know, like if you skip a year or two, it's tough. You get behind, and
Yeah.
what kind of what some people were finding was we were getting kids that were now in middle school and high school that hadn't been playing baseball that really lacked the fundamentals of baseball.
Yeah, that's another thing. Them not playing decided to play, and
Exactly.
they don't have that background or the to lean on.
Yeah.
They
So
start late. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
yeah. So what we've really tried to do is with the coaches I have and the volunteers we have is we really try to teach the fundamentals of baseball, starting, with them at 3 and 4 years old and we ball the basic stuff,
Yeah.
working with them each year until, they get into coach pitch. And then by the time they're in kid pitch, they know the basic fundamentals of baseball. And we're still teaching that at that age. But then they're able to, hopefully try to play the game a little bit and enjoy it already knowing the fundamentals.
What about fun things for the kids? You got anything planned?
Yeah, so we've done it for a lot of years, but especially this year we're doing it for sure. Again, we have the bigger inflatables.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we usually try to have them come out at least either on opening day or closing day, and that's going to be closer to closing day this year. But we try to have them come and set up all their stuff and just have a time, where the kids can play their games and they can go play on the inflatables and have fun. They're all still kids, so they like to do stuff besides play baseball too. So we do that for the kids up there. We have them come set up and do that.
Okay, let's talk about the wearing of the sleeve, the arm sleeve, the jewelry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Can parents go ahead and buy that for the kids, or can they wear the jewelry?
yeah. So pretty much, we follow the rules of Little League International because that's who our insurance is through.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much whatever they say a kid can or can't have on the field is what we do. We've there there's really nothing that prevents a kid from wearing that. But to be honest with you, it's not a big issue for us. We really
No.
don't see that. Really the biggest thing that we had in the past was a lot of kids wanted to put like a decal or some type of sticker on their helmet. Nothing offensive, just like
Oh yeah, yeah.
kind of whatever sticker.
Personalizing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was a hang up for a while where Little League didn't allow that. But now this year, I've read that the stickers are fine, the decals. So I know that excites some kids. But yeah, like as far as the sleeves and the fancy stuff that these kids see the pros wear, some of them wear that stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that's fine and fun. I mean, a lot of these kids they look up to the professional athletes and they want to dress like them and look like them.
They do.
I'm fine with that if that makes them happy and gets them interested in the game for sure.
Okay, is there a place on uh, Facebook or elsewhere parents need to go to view the rules of Little League or something to tell them what's expected of them at the Harrogate Little League?
Sure.
Do you have a Facebook page, or
Sure.
what about that?
Yeah, so our Facebook page is just a Harrogate Little League. It's on Facebook. We put a lot of our information on there about the practices, the games, and things that are going on. As far and then also the Little League International has a really good website with probably more information than you care to read on there. It's trying to really go through a book.
I was actually on it this morning to get some ideas of what to ask you.
Yeah, but no, there's a lot of good information on there that the parents can get about the rules, kind of what to expect, what not to expect. But as far as us, what we do is, a lot of times I put it on the coaches when I meet with them.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you need to get your team together, get your parents together, talk about, kind of what's expected, how to act, how not to act, what we need to do. Kind of put it on the individual coach level because they're the ones that are around their parents. But overall, like I said, we have a really great group of folks that have been doing this for years. Same kids been in it for years, and that stuff's really not an issue. So.
How is the league overall over there? Is it, if you give it a grade A, B, or C, what would it be?
Yeah, sure. No, well, I'm probably a little biased, I guess, but no, I would definitely give it an A. Like I said, and that's a credit to the community over there. There's so many businesses and sponsors and folks that we have that really make this work, and without them, it couldn't. And everybody's in it for the kids. Everybody's in it for the kids.
What about the quality of athlete? Is it going up since the pre-COVID, or is it staying the same, or has it declined a little bit?
Yeah.
And just the quality and overall of the athlete.
Yeah. I mean, I really think I've seen. So I'll use an example. We've got a core group of kids. There's probably, I'm going to say, just kind of guessing, probably a group of kids of about 20 to 25 that I know personally started when they were 4 and 5 years old, basically when we took the league over. And I've watched those kids grow, work, and learn baseball, and now these kids are 10 and 11 years old. And I've seen them really grow and mature and, become a pretty good baseball player. So I would think that the level of athletes since COVID with the league is definitely getting better. I've seen a lot of kids improve and really stick and work with the game.
How can people, coaches, yourself, fans, parents, how could they make this season be more of a success?
Yeah. So, well, for one, like I said, the first thing you can do is want to help. Want to volunteer your time, want to help, want to come out and teach these kids and coach these kids. Just want to be involved. That's to me, that's the best help that you can give us. Because if you want to be involved, trust me, we can find something for you to do. So just the eagerness to be involved and want to help is the biggest thing that really makes it a successful season.
What, if anything, does the Harrogate Little League program need? Or do you have any needs or wants?
Yeah. Really, there's nothing we need. I would think basically what I would like to see as the years go is just the numbers grow. I would like to have, even more than 150 or 160 kids. I would love to have more than that. It would be nice to, to really see the league grow and have, like I said, we've got a 12U team this year. We've just got one. So I would like to see that, maybe next year turn into 2 and the next year after that 3. Just kind of see the league grow. Just numbers, numbers and willing parents and volunteers is what's the biggest thing to help the league go.
Okay, you mentioned it there.
Yeah.
Parent volunteers.
Yeah.
Do you need more of them? Is it figured out, or is it going to be game by game basis? Do you need people that just step up, work the concessions, work the gates? What do you need the parents to do?
Yeah. So we've been pretty fortunate this year. Like I said, we usually start our coaching stuff. Like we have people that are interested. We have them kind of fill out a volunteer form starting in January or February. So we get an idea of how many coaches we're going to have and who's interested. With that being said, we're very set on coaches. We have a great number of coaches. We have plenty, and that's just a testament to the league. I have multiple parents that have coached since basically 2021. They come back. They usually have kids that are playing. They stay with their kids and they come back and coach every year.
Right.
So that helps. But with that being said, we never turn a parent away or somebody that wants help. We can find something for you to do. We've been pretty lucky with our concessions and the way we do those this year. It seems to be it's going to work great. Um, but yeah, like if anybody is ever interested in helping, they can message us on the Facebook page. They can send us a message. My number's on there, folks. They reach out to me, and I can let you know where you can get plugged in and involved if you're wanting to help.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there sponsorship opportunities left? I know you said you've got several and they've been great.
Yeah.
But is there opportunities out there for other sponsors to come in and help you and the kids?
Sure, absolutely. So this year we've got 14 teams total, and that's from the wee ball age group of 3 and 4 up to our 12U kids that are 11 and 12. So all 14 of the team sponsors their field. We have teams and sponsors for each one. What we still offer is we put up nice 3x5 banners at the field on the outfield fence and throughout the park. And there's still opportunity for those. If there's any business that's interested in wanting a 3x5 banner and more information for that to be displayed at the field, they can reach out on the Facebook page with a message, and we can get them the information.
Well, explain how the sponsorship money is being used.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's that leads to kind of what I was talking about with the growth of the league and the way it's grown and the help we have. So when we took over in 2021, there was no equipment in the league. Stuff was really, really, so like basically we had to start from scratch to get stuff right. So we went around to just a lot of businesses and talked, and like I said, people were very, very generous with donating money. So if you're a team sponsor or you're a banner sponsor, what the league does with that money is we take that money, and that money is used to purchase equipment for the league every year that's used by the kids. That involves some bats, that may involve helmets, that involves baseballs, that involves catcher equipment to use. And none of that stuff is cheap. Everything's expensive nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
But all that money,
sure.
Something that I'm very proud of that the community can look and see is all that money that comes into the league. I personally feel like that they're seeing it in the kids. They're seeing the equipment we have. The fields are nice. The kids have very nice uniforms. They have brand new stuff they're playing with. And I feel like that's fulfilling to the sponsors also when they see
that. Are you in the location that they've used for several years?
Yeah.
And does that takes on water sometimes? Are you okay?
Yeah. No, we're good. So
we're good this time.
Yeah. So currently, and
man, it floods bad sometimes.
yes, it does. So the old Little League fields are down on Washington Avenue.
Yeah.
They're kind of just out from Ellen Myers. So after COVID and 2021, when we started, the city of Harrogate has them in park there off of Forge Ridge Road at the industrial park. And the city of Harrogate, they built 2 nice baseball fields up there.
Yeah.
So since 2021, we play all our games up there.
Oh, up there, yeah.
Yeah, we play everything up there. We practice up there. We do use the old fields for some practice.
Right.
But all the games and pretty much 95% of our operation is done at the new place at Industrial Drive up there.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you opportunity. Last words to you. Say what you want to say. Thank anybody you want to thank.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for having me out today.
My pleasure.
Just to highlight the league and talk about it. Again, I think the community of Harrogate, the sponsors that we have been great. We had some folks step up last year, and they donated the money, and we purchased 2 brand new scoreboards, one for each field up there.
They're not cheap.
Nothing's cheap these days. So we've got those. We have one of them up. We're getting the second one installed hopefully in the next couple weeks, and we're having some brand new sponsor signs made for those scoreboards. But no, like I said, I mean, I could go through every business. There's so many people over there that really step up and fund the league, and then the board over there, and all the parents that coach, that help, that do anything that's behind the scenes that people don't see. That's the reason the league thrives. It's not me. It's the folks that put the time in that really do this. Because I said from the beginning, if the like if parents or grandparents, aunts and uncles don't step up and say, "Hey, I want to help," or "I want to coach," we couldn't have the league, because I can't coach every team, and a few others can't coach every team. And that's the thing. I'll say this also: you don't have to know anything about baseball to come help with Little League.
That's right.
We can teach you, the things you need to know to help take a team, and then help them. It's just the main thing is the interest. You don't have to be a baseball person.
Right.
We've got a lot of folks that aren't really baseball people, but they've learned over the years. Just that willingness to help is the main thing.
Yeah, that is the main thing. All right, thanks for joining me again. I appreciate you coming and talking about Harrogate Little League. I have to say once again, thanks to our partners. Without them, we couldn't do what we do. Thanks to Rex up here at the Sports Center. As you can see behind me, he's got all kinds of stuff for you and your kid. Come on up and check it out. And thanks to First Century Bank for providing our communications. Without all these people, we couldn't do what we do in the community, and we appreciate everything you do. And until next time, we'll see you next time, and God bless.